So after 15 years of using Macs for music, video editing and photos, I'm now moving to a PC, and here's why. Probably around 15 years ago, I tried a Mac for the very first time, and that was a brand new iMac. I knew very little about Apple or Macs altogether, so I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know about any hypes about Apple or Macs. I was just impressed with what I saw. And right after that, I decided to buy my first MacBook. I was pretty much done with playing PC games at this point, so I was only using the MacBook for music, studying, and surfing the internet. Honestly, I think it's safe to say that I became an Apple fanboy very quick. I used that MacBook for many years. I think it was possible to put in a bigger drive and some more memory in there, so I was able to use that for quite some time. Later, when I got more into music production, I got a MacBook Pro, and again a bit after that I started my YouTube channel. I started to do videos and more photography, so I needed even better MacBook Pros, and they started to get really difficult to upgrade. Actually, I don't think you could do anything to them, so if you wanted to upgrade it, you had to do that when you bought it, and that could be pretty expensive. Around a year ago, I had a MacBook Pro that was still working pretty decent, I would say, but one day the screen wouldn't turn on, and when you are a content creator, it's extremely difficult to be without a computer, so I was kind of hesitant to send it into Apple, and I knew that could be very expensive as well, so I just went to a local guy and asked if he was able to fix it the same day. He opened it up whilst I was there, and he said you need to be really careful when you're opening these up because Apple really doesn't want you to do anything to these computers. He couldn't fix it. Then I thought I need a Mac today. I can't be without one. Maybe it's time to upgrade also. So I basically bought the highest spec MacBook Pro that I was able to find that day, and I think it cost me close to 5K US dollars. Yeah. And I had the same good feeling as with every time I got a new MacBook. It felt great. I thought this is so much faster than my last one. And then slowly, maybe after a few weeks, I started to notice that this isn't really faster than my last one at all. It can actually be really slow with both like video editing, which is heavy on a system for real, but also music production and photo editing. I sort of knew about the overheating stuff from the 2019 MacBook Pros, but I thought for some reason that they fixed that, and as the year went by, it just got worse. So with YouTube and filmmaking and everything that I do, I'm basically sitting on a computer the whole day editing and mixing in Logic and stuff like that, and I realized more and more that this is slowing me down a lot. Like I'm almost losing money sitting here and waiting for this overheated machine to cool down and to perform how it should be performing for the price. And I'm sort of stuck with it because nothing is really broken inside. It's just a very poor design. Seems like Apple wanted to please the hipsters using the MacBook Pro to, I don't know, surf the internet. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure that they don't care that much about Pro users anymore. And of course, I know about the M1 silicon thing from Apple. Thing is, I'm not sure when they will release the 16-inch MacBook Pro with that chip. Also, I'm starting to think that I need a stationary. I do a lot of heavy color grading and editing, so maybe that's the way to go. And then I decided, yes, that's what I want to do. I'm willing to spend a lot of money to get a much better workflow through the day. Turns out though, if you want a Mac Pro, getting the base model isn't exactly enough for like heavy video editing and music. Maybe music. So I think when I spec'd up a Mac Pro that I thought was good enough for me, it ended up costing like 12K, which of course I can't afford. No way I can afford that. So I can't really wait for more M1 stuff. Not the 16-inch, and the Mac Pros with those chips will probably not come out for a while. So I needed to start looking at a PC alternative, and that's what I did. So for under half of that price, I was able to get a PC, stationary PC with approximately the same specs as the 12K Mac Pro. And that's insane. I know that you can't really compare them directly because Apple is really good at optimizing for their own apps. I have moved away from using Final Cut. I'm using DaVinci Resolve now, and that works both on Macs and PCs. So that's like the biggest thing that I need a new machine for. So that was easy. I still like Logic Pro, so that is really hard for me to move away from. So I have the MacBook Pro. I use Logic on that one, which is causing it to overheat. Like, yeah, with just a few tracks in there. But at some point I will probably need to change the AW as well. If you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. And also having a stationary here in my studio is really good, but it's hard to move away from having a laptop, something to take home. Sometimes I need to work at home, I need to work other places, so I'm not exactly sure what I will be doing with that situation. So is everything just a lot better now with a PC? Well, it's a bit complicated. A lot of people have told me Windows is totally different now. It's not like it used to be. Well, within like the first 10 minutes of using my new PC, I was experiencing the same issues that I did back when I was 15 in my old fart room. I had the blue screen of death. I had drivers that didn't want to install, and then all of a sudden they worked again. Why didn't they work the first time but the second time? That never really happens, at least to me, when I'm using a Mac. And just like with the OS, how it looks and how it works, it feels like I'm going back in time. But when I had everything installed and I was doing some editing and color grading in Resolve, it just worked super smooth, and my workflow now is just completely different from how it used to be with my MacBook. And again, comparing apples to oranges here, a laptop will never be as good as a stationary, but I also mean that a 5000 laptop should perform a lot better than mine is doing. So at least for now, I'm really happy with my new PC build. I'm working a lot faster. I still need to adjust to being on Windows. And also I need to solve my laptop and Logic Pro issue, because I'm not sure if I will be using my Mac as a remote working station and using Logic at all anymore. As for the future of Apple, I'm not the right guy to ask. I'm still concerned about their prices, and I also think the new chip will do a lot for them. Maybe that will bring me back someday. For now, I'm really happy with my PC. I saved a lot of money and I'm working faster than ever. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any comments on this, please leave them down below. Goodbye.